All right, Nick. Here we stand. Down by 3. Not undoable. Not impossible.
Are you surprised they're going back to Helsley here? With a 3-run lead?
No.
After he threw as many pitches as he did yesterday?
Well, do you see who he's got to face?
Well, I know. I'm kind of like, why would you use him here, you know? Like, they don't have anyone else?
I was trying to make your point for you. I don't know. Maybe they'll listen, you get wins when you need them. How about that?
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully he's wild.
Well, that's what we need. Ball.
This is legit one of those guys where you might be better off just seeing if he can walk you before you even think about swinging. That was a good pitch.
It was a good pitch.
How about this Louisville Bats game?
By the way, just so you know, that is your television. Just so you know.
Oh, I'll mute it. I'll mute it once the.
I know. I'm just making sure.
Once the official show starts.
Make sure that we're on the same page.
I think it adds character in the background of this forum. But I don't think the listeners in the morning need it. I don't think they care. But how about this Louisville game? Started at 6:05. They're only in the 8th inning. 13-12. They did not get that memo about the pitch clock. Or they don't care.
You know what? My microphone. Maybe it's all right. I'm eventually going to get fed up and just do this all right, get a nice desk, drill into the desk of the mic stand.
Oh, man.
Good swing. That's what you're looking for.
Oh, brother. Whew.
That's gross.
That's tough.
Damn, man. I was hoping we'd get lucky and sweep them or something. Get us back in this thing.
Clay Snowden. I don't like the look on Trace's face tonight. That's beyond disappointment.
I'm just disappointed. What else am I here to say? I hope I'm wrong.
Run it out, Will. Run it out.
Slow. Look at that. Dude, how do you not? Come on. What's the sprint speed on that? He's out. Dude, somebody put a timer on that. All right, backhand in the hole. Bobble. Quick, got rid of it quick.
Oh, wow.
Hey, he's out.
Jeez. Stupid DeJong.
He's laughing about it. He's like, can you believe we just got that out? What was that? What happened there? Don't have no fear. Kevin Newman is here. I'll tell you what, he keeps getting hits, though. He's going to have about 260 average here soon.
He made some great defensive plays early in this game.
That's a good pitch.
Chucky Robinson just homered. 14-12.
Dude, that is center cut. That is right down the middle at 100 miles an hour, man. I have zero hope if and it's not that he should hit it. I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm just saying if we didn't touch that baseball, the chances of us touching a baseball are not good. This is when you hope we get lucky and throws a breaking ball, hits him in the foot. Oh, yeah. Damn.
That was generous. Just put us out of our misery, big guy.
I'll tell you what, there's nothing he could do better than to just hit him in the foot.
He's like, I have not let that be the final strike of the game.
Oh, 102. He just turned it right up the middle. Look at Kevin Newman, baby. I love it.
That's a two-hit day. That's a two-hit day.
Dude, he just turned around 102 and said, here, take some of that.
Call a friend, tell a friend, Newman is back.
I'll tell you what, man. Play him every day. He's a gamer.
Free Newman.
He's a gamer.
I have to add him to the J bar at this point. I mean, gonna knock out Friedel if he doesn't come through here. Make it the Newman spot. I'm just kidding.
Don't let another one get on base.
McLain on deck.
Just saying, don't let another guy get on base. That's a ball. Okay. Now I hate to say this, in the big leagues, traditionally you're not taking here, but I'm taking all the way. Three-run game, only one guy on. You got to find a way on base. We're taking, and he gets the benefit of the doubt. Damn. That would have been cool. Nope. Okay. Is it crazy, chat, to say that I know he's not, but is it crazy to think in my own head that I kind of hope he takes again? Let's make this guy throw 3 strikes. That's the better chance of him getting on base than him throwing a strike and him getting a hit. I'm just saying. Not suggesting we're going to be like little leaguers.
There we go.
That's what I'm saying. Let's actually, you know what? Now, McLain, you be ready for that 100-mile-an-hour fastball and tie the game. We're not taking anymore.
Well, at least they've made Helsley throw some pitches, so I would think he's definitely going to be unavailable tomorrow at this point. So that could loom large either way.
Tell you what, man.
But Matty McLain could really make it fun.
Yeah. Let's run into one. It's a good swing, man.
We've had some good moments when we've been live streaming.
Oh, definitely.
We haven't had one like this.
No. Be ready to hit, Matt. That's a ball. Thank you. Be ready to hit. Let's go. Right here. The take is off, big dog. Let it fly. What a pitch. That's so stupid, man. Just throw an 87-mile-an-hour hammer. Can't find the zone. Here, I got what you need. Be ready to hit this fastball. Ow!
That was it. That was the pitch.
I like how they have stiff on their patch. That's worse than the Reds.
What is that?
Bunch of stiffs.
You have any idea what that company is?
Yeah. No. Did we fix the white patch?
Did they listen to you?
Dude. I got to see that again.
Good take. Good take.
What a take, man. Oh. Dude, since when did guys just throw 102 miles an hour and it was just normal?
Graham Ashcraft throws 100 and can't get anyone out.
Come on.
Good take. Don't let him off the hook.
This is a really tough spot. You know he's throwing a fastball. at 102 miles an hour, you gotta, there's not much decision making. You're either gonna let it rip or you're not. Girl's excited. Golly day. This is one of those things where if he throws a breaking ball anywhere near the zone, he's out.
Yeah.
He's out. He throws that little hammer he threw first pitch. I would throw that if I was him because he doesn't have good fastball command right now. I'd throw that little breaking ball if I were him. He's throwing a fastball up.
That is a clutch walk.
Oh my God.
Down 1-2 in the count, fought back, got on a base, bringing Jonathan India to the plate. We got a chance for a walk-off now.
Gosh.
24 pitches. How many? He threw 30-something yesterday.
Oh.
That's a lot of pitches.
Listen, not only was it a great take, but that's an incredible call by the umpire. I mean, that was close. That was close.
Now, if you're the Cardinals, do you intentionally walk India and bring in your lefty to face Fraley?
No. In what world? Hell no.
The Barry Bonds treatment?
Yeah, no. I hope they do that. That'd be cool. I like those analytics.
I'd rather have India take one swing out of here.
No. Give me Jake Fraley up there.
Are you trying to hit this Are you trying to hit this first pitch out of the ballpark? Knowing he's trying to get ahead?
Well, I mean, you're taking a really healthy swing. You're gonna guess fastball, 100 miles an hour. You just got to try to time it and let it rip.
All right.
It's pure luck. I mean, it sounds fun. Like it's you know what it's like. It reminds me of like putting a golf ball within like 2 feet of the cup and or a hole in one. Like it takes some skill, but there's some luck involved as well. Like it needs to be some good fortune. Fastball. That's a good take. I don't hate it. Dude, just get lucky.
Make some noise. Make noise.
This is on you, Nick.
McLain's got a huge lead.
There's nobody holding him on.
Still couldn't get there.
Well, let's run the intro.
High drive, left center field, racing back to the world, bourgeois. The Reds are National League Central Division champions. In the air, left center field. Did he? He did! He did! Reds win! Reds win! Line to the right field. Genius, the first run ever with 4 home runs in a game. Unbelievable. Can you believe it? In the air, down the right field line. Doesn't have a chance. The Reds have won on a 3-run home run on opening day by Ramon Hernandez. A strike away and out away is Homer Bailey. Ground ball to third. Frazier gloves. Throw to first, and Homer Bailey, for the second time in his major league career, has tossed a no-hitter. Oh, gosh. Oh, are you kidding me? Holy Moses, the second player in major league history to hit 7 home runs in the first 10 games. In the air, and the Reds win it. What a dream to get into the career of Jay Bruce.
All right, Reds fight back in the bottom of the ninth to fall up short, 8-5. Although that might sound like it wasn't relatively close, Jonathan India did have a chance there at the end of the game to give the fans what they wanted, which was a walk-off home run with the bases loaded. We'll probably get into that just a little bit, Nick. But before we do, we have a healthy amount of topics, and we have, of course, the box score recap. How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing okay. Disappointing night, but hey, good to have TJ Friedel back. I'm excited about that.
That's very true. It's very
There
true.
we go.
But
There we go.
an abbreviated version of the box score recap, possibly, and or maybe just the novel box score recap. I'm not sure what you have for us, but surprise us, Nick.
We're going with the 2-paragraph special today.
Love it.
All right. It was not a good night for Graham Ashcraft. He gave up 7 earned runs and 2 home runs over 5 innings. Ashcraft has an ERA over 13 over his last 4 starts. The Reds offense, though, give them some credit. They did try to fight back despite playing behind literally all night. Matt McLain hit his first big league home run in the 3rd inning. TJ Friedel also made his return to the Reds lineup, doubled twice. And then did he walk in the 9th? I don't know. I don't remember. He got on base in the 9th, right?
Who are we talking? I'm sorry.
Friedel. Did he get on base in the 9th?
Yeah.
Yeah, he walked in the 9th. So good night for TJ Friedel's return. Credit where it's due to Silvino Bracco and Alan Buznitz. Only allow 1 run over 4 innings to give the Reds a chance in the 9th. The Reds had a chance. Jonathan Endy at the plate with bases loaded and 2 outs, but hit a ground ball to the shortstop to end it. Reds fall 8-5.
Yeah. I don't know. It's getting frustrating because it's the same old song and dance. Starting pitching. As much as the bullpen has been a shining spot or bright spot on this team, or as big of a surprise, or as maybe as thankful as we want to be with the bullpen, I would say equally as much as disappointing as the starting pitching. And I know that we shouldn't be completely over the deep end in regards to thinking that these guys aren't going to have good careers or nothing along those lines. I'm not trying to make it sound like Hunter Green's a disgrace and or Ashcraft's a disgrace. I guess the best term to use is just disappointing. You'd like to think that was one of the strongholds that this team was going to have coming into the year. It would have been a reason that this team might be able to win some games, and it's actually turned out to be the reason that this team isn't being competitive. The offense struggles at times too. I'm not trying to leave them off the hook, Nick, but it is a morale. I don't know what the right term would be, but it's very much of a morale succulent of just not having a guy be able to go out and pitch more than 5 or 6 innings and keep your team in it.
Yeah, I think individually, like, no reason to be overly concerned about Ashcraft. No reason to be overly concerned about Green. Lodolo, he's hurt. That kind of is what it is. It's just collectively, you were kind of hoping at least one of those 3 wears off to one of these great starts through the first 2 months of the season. And like Ashcraft looked like that guy early in the year. He had an ERA of 2 through his first 4 or 5 starts, and now it's up to 5.5. So yeah, I mean, I don't think individually it's time to like completely panic on any of them, other than maybe Lodolo because of the injury concern. But it just collectively, it's kind of been I would agree, probably the biggest disappointment so far in this season.
Yeah, I mean, the Cardinals hit, I'm counting it up now, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 balls hard today. 10 of them came off of Ashcraft. I mean, that's one thing, Nick, to not have a good outing. It's another thing to get absolutely scorched all over the yard. For those that are curious or wondering if you're into that exit velocity thing, the top 5 exit velocities in the entire game all came off of Graham Ashcraft. 112, 107, 107, 106, 104, 104. That's just not good. Don't know what else to say.
Yeah, our guy Matt Wilkes probably laid it out the best through Ashcraft's first 6 starts. Ground ball rate was around 55%. Hard hit rate was around 35%. And the ground ball rate now is down to 40%. Hard hit rate is up to 43%. He's just missing right over the middle of the plate, which is resulting in him not getting as many ground balls. When you have a pitcher that doesn't get swing and misses, like actually did get 5 tonight, but in general, he doesn't get a lot of swing and misses. He's got to locate his pitches better. And if you looked at the heat map from tonight, I mean, they were all mistakes right down the middle of the plate. So I don't know. He didn't walk anyone, so I mean that's good. It's not a command thing, or in terms of it's not a walk in the bases load or anything like that. But man, it just feels like there's a lot of these 10-hit performances from Graham Ashcraft right now, and I have confidence he'll figure it out. But it's definitely been a very, very rough last couple weeks.
You know what's wild too about how much the game has changed. I mean, Ashcraft's throwing 99-mile-an-hour cutters. 98 mile an hour, 98, 98, 98, 98, 98, literally just 98 peppered all the way down the board. And the fact that guys are just squaring that ball up relatively, I don't want to say easily, is not the right word. It's more of an amazement anymore than anything. I know that sounds kind of maybe odd, but it's amazing to me that hitters today are able to take guys throwing 98 mile an hour cutters and just piece them up all over the yard. And I know that pitchers have been throwing maybe 98 miles an hour. This isn't like it's relatively 100% new. I think the depth of guys throwing this hard is what I would say is relatively new. It used to have like, oh, Nolan Ryan, he can throw it. And you'd have like Randy Johnson. And then, Aroldis Chapman came up. And now it's like there's just guys all over the league throwing this hard. And it's obviously, say what you want, but hitters have become somewhat accustomed to it. I don't know if there's anything else to leave to Ashcraft. It's disappointing. I love Ashcraft. I wish I had some beautiful way to say that I think it's all going to be perfectly fine, but that would be a little me. That would just be me being hopeful more than anything. I don't have anything to support that or back it up. But when you're throwing 98-mile-an-hour cutters, it's just hard for me to believe that you're not going to get guys out more times than not. But that's not been the case the last 4 starts. So I don't know. It's not tipping pitches or anything, right? I mean, I don't know. It just seems weird that he's just missing spots.
Larkin kind of hinted at that early in the game that he thought maybe, but I don't know. I saw the map of where the pitches were, and most of them were just right down the middle, and the Cardinals are just too good of a lineup. I don't. Maybe he was tipping too. It might have been a combination of both. One thing that does stand out looking at Ashcraft tonight, though, is he threw 91 pitches, and 89 of them were cutters or sliders. He threw 2 sinkers, and that was it. So, yeah. It probably, I don't know. I don't want to. I have know nothing about major league pitching. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I know a damn thing about this. But it seems like he probably needs to mix in, either a sinker more, maybe to get more ground balls, or work on another pitch or something. He's just probably too predictable at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll find out. I mean, I don't want to spend too much time speculating on Ashcraft and. The good news is he seems healthy. If you want some optimism, I don't think it's a case of him being hurt. Lodolo, like a Lodolo type situation. I don't think that's the case. I think he's just missing some spots. He's getting hit hard, and I'd rather it be that than to be hurt. So, I guess I'll hang my hat on that. Sticking to some optimism, Matt, you had McBang in the rundown. I gotta be honest. I don't know if I love that nickname. I get it. I know you didn't make it up. Not hating on it, but we'll see. Do you think that's gonna stick, Matt McBang?
That's got some sting power. Whether we like it or not, I think there's gonna be T-shirts. There's gonna be babies signed with that. I mean, I OJ Bronco. I like Matty Ice. I feel like that's got a better ring to it. And it felt like that plate appearance where he drew that walk in the 9th after falling behind 1-2. I thought that was the most impressive thing he did tonight, more so than the home run, was that plate appearance in the 9th off Helsley when he fell behind 1-2, laying off some tough pitches. I didn't really like that stolen base, if I'm being honest, when the Reds were down 2 runs in the 7th.
Yeah,
I mean,
I get it.
This is a
this
is a ballpark where you're one swing of the way away from tying the game.
Yeah,
I don't like to be the guy who hates on aggressiveness.
I told you that. I told you that that's going to happen. I mean, if we're going to be happy about this team being aggressive on the base path when it works, we got to be ready for when it doesn't. And I've said this time and time again. Catchers, believe it or not, missing up the line more times than not is actually the better throw than to throw the ball, just a smidge to the right of the bag. Because the tag is right there readily available. I don't think that it wasn't like it was a no-doubter he was out. It was a bang-bang play. And I don't hate it, Nick, but I do agree with you. The reason I don't hate it, though, is because we don't have power. I know we're one swing away, but we don't hit. I mean, even though it's Great American Ballpark, we're not putting the ball out of the ballpark a ton.
Yeah, maybe that's one of those things, and this is cliche, but a guy that hasn't played at Great American Ballpark all that much, you play here a couple more times, you look up at the scoreboard, we're down, 2 runs. It's late in the game. When you start seeing the balls fly out a little bit more frequently, maybe that gets in your head. You're like, yeah, you know what? I better be a little more for sure that I'm going to be able to get this stolen base than to take a chance.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it probably didn't matter in the result of this game. I just didn't love that particular spot. I will never really fault Matt McLain if he's trying to, steal bases the first, second, third, fourth, fifth inning, 1-run games. Even if that was a 1-run game in that spot,
Right.
I wouldn't have hated it. I just didn't like it.
I get it.
Down 2.
It's more than a fair argument that you're making. I like Big Game McLain. Now,
Oh yeah,
I don't know what nickname he'll ultimately have,
that's good. Big game.
but I don't know. It can't be Matty Ice because Matty Ice has been taken by Matt Ryan, right? That just seems like T-bone for any guy named Tyler. I don't know. It's here nor there. We'll have to think through this one. But for right now, leader in the clubhouse, Big Game McLain. He reminds me of a dirtbag too. I like him. Like he's like just a ball player. Every time you see him, he looks like he's going to be dirty by the 3rd inning. He's a dirtbag. Now, whether or not that sticks, I doubt it. But Friedel returns, Nick Kirby, your favorite player. Giving you that. I'm giving you that title regardless of whether you want it or not. It seems like even if you say that you don't think that he's your favorite player, he is your favorite player. So TJ Friedel, back in the lineup, doing good things. Your overall impressions, doesn't look hurt.
Yeah, I think he is my favorite player. I love this guy. I love that he kind of came out of nowhere. I love that he made some significant adjustments into his game that honestly kind of fit the ballpark that he plays in, adding just a little bit more power. For a guy that went on the IL, didn't go on a rehab assignment to come right back, smack 2 doubles, get a walk. Trace, I think he's the Reds' best position player right now. Overall, not hitter, but best position player. What do you think about that?
Spencer Steer.
Does he have the defensive value? That's where I think.
Well,
Friedel,
I mean, you're right, but that's not Steer's fault 100%. I think that's just because of the position he plays. Steer made a hell of a play, saved Nick Senzel an error tonight. But
Friedel also had a really good catch.
Yeah.
I meant to put this in my notes, but a 40% catch probability for a guy that's been sitting on the bench for 2 weeks to go back on a ball, and that was a big play in the game too at that point. So I love TJ Friedel, man. He's a fun player to watch. I think he is an absolute piece that can. I'm not gonna say like a cornerstone piece. I'm not gonna go that crazy, but TJ Friedel is absolutely a starting player on a postseason team.
I agree. The question is, can we get more starting players on this team to make it a postseason team? Reds MLB. There was a little bit of a hectic scatter on Twitter. I knew that it was completely bogus as soon as I seen it, but this fan base is they are just absolute savages when it comes to the Louisville bat lineups. If there is a prospect not in the lineup, they are without question making their major league debut. At least on the Bluebird app, they are. Turns out he's not. Your overall thoughts on that rendezvous? Did you get suckered into that at all, or what was your initial thoughts?
Well, nothing. It didn't make sense at all why the Reds would call them up like in the middle of a homestand. They had already released their lineup today. They had already released their transactions of sending Benson down. So none of that tracked. I thought it was a for sure Louisville Bats trolling job, but there was like that small, just little thing in the back of my head that said, well, maybe it's not. And I don't know. I didn't get suckered into it as much as everyone else, but I'll admit, I in the back of my head, I was like, maybe.
Yeah.
And and they won. They won. That's a great social media job to get that kind of interaction on a AAA baseball team. Man, they probably added 500 followers today. It wasn't as big as Oklahoma softball on
Right.
Chatterbox Sports.
Yeah, no.
But it was up there.
Well, here's the thing. I think the guy that was running the admin account for the Louisville Bats had a few too many Miller Lights tonight, if you know what I'm saying. And then just went hard in the paint a little bit. Don't know if you've seen it. If you did see it, you'll know what I'm saying. Little too hard in the paint. I think he got a little ahead of his skis. He or she was feeling really good about themselves. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna keep this going tonight. Check this out. And then he went a little over the line. That
got the text.
You got the text or the call from the boss, and then they deleted the tweet real quick. But hey, I'm not mad at him. I just find it ironic. Like I said, I tweeted it out. I'm not going to get into it. But some Reds MILB, Nick. What do we got on the docket? If you got anything, you are always the most prepared man in the absolute game when it comes to this. I can't believe you keep up with this on a daily basis. It's absolutely unbelievable. I know there's others that maybe do this. I know Bryce does it. I know Clay's always on it. I'm sure there's others that I'm missing. However, for a guy like me, it's hard enough keeping up with the big league team at times, let alone the minor leagues. But you do it, so let the people know what they're missing.
All right, well, I thought for sure the Louisville Bats would be over at this point because they started at 6:05 tonight, but Louisville currently leads 17-12 over Syracuse. Somehow, Christian Encarnacion Strand is 1 for 6 in this game with no extra base hits, which just doesn't seem right. Matt Reynolds homered, TJ Hopkins homered, Chucky Robinson has homered twice. Just he's
got to wonder what he's got to do to get on the big league team.
Louisville's on their 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th pitcher of the night right now, and that game is actually in the bottom. It might have just ended. I think it might have just ended. We might have a final 17-12. But
do they have potatoes that pitch every night or what? I mean, it seems like McLain was down there hitting for the cycle. CES is hitting 3 home runs. Hopkins, he's hitting like 2 home runs a night, it seems like. Chucky Robinson's hitting 974, and they lose, what seems to be far too often. So they got potatoes throwing down there. Who is actually throwing? Is it Florence Y'all's pitchers that just have the weekend off, so they just take the track over, or what?
Well, the wild thing is I actually mentioned this on the podcast, was Syracuse, that's the Mets affiliate. They actually have some pretty good pitchers. One of the pitchers that pitched is TJ McFarland, who you might remember was a Cardinals reliever, in the big leagues. The Bats are going to see David Peterson at one point this week, who the Reds just saw in the big leagues like 2 weeks ago. So they have quite a bit of legit pitching. But I want to ask you about this before we go on.
What's up?
Because I was watching a little bit of this earlier, and I was like, holy crap, Matt Reynolds has 10 home runs he has 10 doubles and 6 home runs in like 23 games or whatever he's played.
Yeah.
And it kind of gets me thinking, I do feel like sometimes we will really overvalue these AAA stats. Like TJ Hopkins has a 1,000 OPS. Stuart Fairchild has a 650. You got to switch him. I feel like you got to be careful about some of these numbers in the minor leagues.
Well, the one thing I was always actually somewhat concerned about when Will Benson went down, and then all of a sudden Will Benson was having some success, I was concerned. I was like, oh no. Not to be really nothing against Will, but I was hoping Will in the back of my head would continue to struggle, just to be like, oh, well, maybe it is kind of hard to hit baseballs down at AAA. But then Will Benson goes down. He starts slugging the ball everywhere. You got Vossler just ripping the cover off the ball in AAA. It does become a little concerning. Now, those guys, to be fair, they're not hitting at the same rate that Chucky Robinson is or Hopkins is or CES, certainly. So, and Ellie De La Cruz is coming down the pike here soon. It's just a matter of when.
Well, and that's the good thing about having StatCast at the AAA level is we can see that the ball's coming off the bat different from Ellie De La Cruz and even Christian Encarnacion Strand than it's coming off of some of these other guys. And I think that matters a lot. But I just, when you see a guy like Matt Reynolds having the kind of success he has, and no disrespect to Matt Reynolds, I would love if he comes back up and goes on a tear at the big league club. Probably not going to happen, but it does kind of give you a caution, at least on other guys like maybe a TJ Hopkins that I know everyone wants to see come up right now.
Yeah,
it doesn't necessarily mean that TJ Hopkins is a better option than a guy like Stuart Fairchild. There has to be more evaluation than just looking at the OPS in AAA and the OPS in the big leagues. That's really my only point on that.
What about a guy that's 32 years old? He's hitting 194, 257 OBP, and he's slugging even better, 290.
Nick Martini?
OPS of 45. And total bases rounds up to 36. And you might ask yourself, well, maybe that guy is just not getting everyday juice, not playing a lot. I would push back and say he's played 36 games, and he has 137 plate appearances. How long does that guy get a leash for? Just asking for a friend.
I don't know. It's a good question. It's a good question, Trace. Chattanooga.
Will Myers, by the way. Keep it moving.
Chattanooga is down 6-0. Noelvi Marte 0 for 3, so not a whole lot in this one. Joe Boyle walked 5 batters again tonight. Actually was really good through the first 3 and then just completely lost it in typical Joe Boyle fashion. I really hope he can figure it out because he's got really all the talent in the world. Then we do have a couple others that went final. South Bend defeated the Dayton Dragons 3-2. Dragons have lost 3 straight, now 17-23 on the year. Arroyo and Hendrick both 0 for 4, but catcher Matt Nelson 2 for 3 with a double and a walk. And then the Daytona Tortugas, they won 3-2 over Lakeland. Tortugas now 17-23 on the season. Cam Collier hit his 3rd home run of the year. Carlos Jorge, who, my goodness, he's so young, but I kind of wonder if he's going to get a promotion here at some point this season, which is really just kind of wild for how young he is. 2 for 3 with a walk. OPS now up at 956, which in that league is insane. And one other player worth mentioning, Bryce Hubbard. He was the Reds' 3rd round pick. He's a pitcher. 3rd round pick last year. He's a lefty. He actually got a 4-inning save in this game. I guess they're kind of using him like a piggyback starter type role, but 4 innings pitched, only allowed 1 hit and struck out 5. So good night for him. He was just, I believe, coming back off an injury. I think this is only his 3rd outing of the year, but that's really good to see.
Well, thank you for that recap, by the way. Who's it brought to you by?
Betfred Sportsbook, the leader of sports betting.
That's right. Couldn't have said it better myself. The Sportsbook of Cincinnati, at least, for sure. For those that are wondering, Trevor Bauer got sent down to the Japan minor leagues. I would suspect if Nick Krall could make a few phone calls, we might be able to get him. Just saying. What's wild about that is I know that there's many people that are not fans of Trevor. I think you're one of them. I watched some of his YouTube the other night, his vlogs. And I got to be honest, it's actually somewhat entertaining. It is relatively entertaining. And he made a comment, and I want your thoughts on this, Nick, at the very end of his episode. He said, the stats are telling me my spin rate is at an all-time high. I'm pitching harder than I've ever pitched before. I'm throwing, by the numbers, the best pitches I've ever thrown in my career, yet I can't get anybody out. And he just kind of ended it on that. He didn't really give thought into it. He just ended it on that. Do you have a thought on that? Let's see, because, I don't know. Ashcraft, is there some, not to say there's a huge correlation there, but what is there even an explanation as to why guys are throwing harder, have more spin rate, and they're having less success? I
can't remember who said it the other day, but hitters are more prepared. I mean, hitters are seeing every pitcher in the league throw, these type of pitches that have these incredible spin rates that, everyone's used to 100 miles an hour. It's not a shock anymore. So, well, yeah, it's still obviously hard to hit, and I would have no chance of hitting it. These are professional hitters, and they're more geared up to it. But yeah, I mean, I say with Grant Ashcraft, it's all about location. There's just too many of these pitches are right down the middle of the plate, and if he's not missing bats, he's got to locate better. Doesn't matter what his spin rate looks like.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was gonna say, do you know how everything in life goes full circle, or like always, the hairstyles back in the day, they come back in style, and all of that type of talk. You laugh, but I'm being serious when I say this, and some of it's being facetious, some of it's being, a little, I guess, twisting the knife a little bit into certain sides. Do you think ever pitchability comes back around? The soft throwing lefty that throws 89 to 90, can't break a plane of glass, but can really spot pitches, change off speeds. Do you think that there's a chance where there's an organization that decides they're just going to give it hell, and they're just going to be like, you know what, let's go out and get the 5 best soft-throwing, unorthodox pitchers, and nobody else in the world's going to sign these guys, but we're going to sign them, and we're going to push them through the system to at least Double-A relatively quickly, and just see if it just somehow offsets the brain mentality of the hitter, because the hitters are so used to velocity, and the more velocity, it's not rocket science. In fact, it is science and physics. The more velocity, Nick, the harder it comes in, the harder it goes out, man. Do you think there's a chance that we go back to some soft-throwing lefties?
I think you're probably better off maybe looking for a mix of that. I would almost say Brennan Williamson in today's game is almost that, right? Like he's throwing like 92 his fastball, so that's pretty much a soft tossing lefty today. I think having a guy like that you could mix in between, like Green and Ashcraft, I think there's a lot of value to that. Just really changing the look of the hitters and what they're gearing up for. I don't know. I feel like a team of that, I feel like then that could get exploited. I don't know. You just need good pitchers. I really don't think it. I just want guys that can get outs, that can induce weak contact. And I think there's so many different ways you can go about that as a pitcher. I think there's so many different types of pitchers that can be successful at that. And it's really about your organization finding what that is, developing them to and utilizing their strength. That's like what Tampa Bay does so well. Like they bring pitchers in there and they find what they're good at and they hammer it down and they make them successful.
I'm drawing a blank, as I usually do on this program. Who was the relatively soft throwing lefty, really short, was around when we were pretty decent? I can't think of his name.
Wandy Rodriguez? For the Astros?
No. I'm talking about for the Reds.
Oh, Daniel Ray Herrera?
Yes. That was it.
You never forget Daniel Ray Herrera.
Yeah. I like Daniel Ray. Yeah.
I loved him. He was awesome.
Yeah. All right.
It was his little hat crooked.
Matt Maloney was a really good reliever. Bill Bray was probably my favorite left-handed reliever that the Reds have had outside of, besides Chapman, of course, but Arthur Rhodes.
Yeah, there you go.
Arthur Rhodes is probably the number one, but right behind Arthur Rhodes, I would say Chapman's up there just because he's Chapman. But it's like if you take Chapman out of the mix, Bill Bray's right up there. Yeah, I mean we've had some fun in this bullpen over the years. What about Sean Doolittle? Anybody miss him?
Sean Marshall was pretty good.
Sean Marshall.
When he was rolling, I mean, and once they got him in that role, right, like in between Chapman and Broxton, he was really, really good.
Man, it would be
that
really
bullpen
cool.
Was awesome.
Be really cool if the Reds were really good. That day, I think, is coming.
It's coming.
I hope. All right, Nick. It's been a pleasure. It's been a privilege and a pleasure. It's been fun, and it's been real, but I don't know if it's been real fun. We have a show that we run on this program. It's called Chatterbox Sports. We do it all the time. I don't know what Nick has for promos. I'm just guessing right at this point. Well, I guess you want to talk about who's pitching tomorrow. That makes more sense than a promo. Who's pitching tomorrow? Let's get really optimistic.
All right, can Ben Lively keep the magic alive? He's been awesome. Interesting to see how we can do against this Cardinals lineup tomorrow. Good news, though, Reds bullpen should be well rested. So hopefully he can force strong innings out of Lively and hand it over to the big dogs. Steven Matz has been awful for the Cardinals, but he has dominated the Reds. 2.92 career ERA against the Reds. So what'll happen on Wednesday? We'll have to find out together. There you go.
Yeah, we will. The first pitch is on at 6:40, and if you don't know where to watch it, it is on Valley Sports, Ohio, because they are still in business, and they are broadcasting Cincinnati Reds baseball games still to this day. We will keep you posted on that if it ever changes. In regards to the rest of this programming, we do this all the time. We say thank you for watching not only our show, but please go ahead and give the Off the Bench a try. And if you're an admin for the Louisville Bats, give it a try too. You might like it. You might not. I don't know. But if you don't like it, then you don't have to watch it. You know why? Because there's other shows. And the other show is this show. And if you like this show, do me a favor. Tell a friend about it the next time the Reds win. Don't bring him in here when the Reds lose. All right? That's for all of us OGs. That's the real true warriors in the chat. I pay attention. I pay attention to who's in the chat on a Reds loss. It's about half the crowd. You know how those are. The thing is that at some point, that bandwagon that is the Cincinnati Reds, it's going to become full. And I'm going to remember who all deserves first-class seats, and it's every single one of you. So from my heart to yours, I love you, but more importantly, go Reds.